Hello and welcome back to another Doctor Who collection update. Yes, today I'll be showing you all the various bits of merchandise I've picked up from where my last collection update finished back in March to the end of July. So there'll be no Web of Fear Steelbook within this collection update. That'll be in another collection update in the near future. So this collection update, we've got a whole plethora of Doctor Who merchandise. So vinyls, books, DVDs, Big Finish. I mean, would it be a collection update if I didn't include Big Finish? So we've got a whole wide variety of merch to cover. So without further ado, let's just dive right in. First bit of merchandise I'm going to kick off this collection update with is a DVD, and it is a BBV Jon Pertwee Uncut. This was seen on the Doctor's 30 Years of Time Travel and Beyond, and this is basically the complete interview. So if you own sort of the Terror of the Autons, sort of Spear from Space, Mannequin Mania box set on Planet of the Spiders, then you may have seen glimpses of this actual interview, and this interview's always fascinated me, and to have it in its full entirety is brilliant, and it's a great little insight with Jon Pertwee just talking about his life and just Doctor Who for quite a long time. Actually, I'm just trying to think how long is the runtime. It's quite long. It doesn't say the runtime, but it's a chunky one, and it's really enjoyable. I did enjoy just sitting down with a cup of tea, listening to Jon Pertwee just chat and just be himself. It was wonderful. Moving on to the Blu-ray release, we had the complete 8th series on Blu-ray, Peter Capaldi's first series on Blu-ray. Wonderful to finally have all the new series on Steelbook. It just looks absolutely stunning, and I really like it. And I've got a soft spot for Series 8. I think my favourite is probably Mummy on the Orient Express, my favourite one, and I do love Listen, and surprisingly Time Heist, I do like that one as well. So yeah, great to have that, unless they do Twice Upon a Time on Steelbook, which would be great, and I will of course do a sort of Steelbook overview of the Moffat era, so that'll be upcoming in the near future. The main Blu-ray release was of course Season 24, Sylvester McCoy's first season as the Doctor. Yeah, I'm still watching it. There's so much content on these Blu-ray box sets. You're kind of watching all the content right up until the next collection box set. You've got some great extras like the documentary overviewing Season 24, and the Sylvester McCoy Matthew Sweet interview was wonderful. One of my favourite interviews Sylvester McCoy's ever done, and to have the extended editions of all Season 24 stories is great. The Time and the Rani one is just a joy. I just enjoyed that sort of pre-title sequence of actually getting a proper regeneration. Was really wonderful, and of course I'll hopefully do a video more in depth about it in the near future. So that is the DVD and Blu-ray. Moving on to a book, one of the latest Doctor Who books, which is Alex Kingston's The Ruby's Curse. It seems to be like a nice little tradition BBC have got now, getting a Doctor Who actor to write a novel. So this is really wonderful. I really enjoyed Scratchman and At Childhood End, so I'm very excited to give this one a read. I'm currently reading Touched by an Angel, 11th Doctor book by Jonathan Morris, so once I finish that I'll be very looking forward to diving into this. And it does look like a sort of an Agatha Christie sort of murder mystery book, doesn't it? It does have that sort of look to it, and I really do like the cover. It's very nice, simple, very nice art style to it. So yeah, look forward to diving into that because I do like River Song. Moving on to some figures. Yes, I do love the Doctor Who figures, and we had this lovely character options online exclusive of the second Doctor and TARDIS from the Abominable Snowmen set. Yeah, this was a wonderful one because we didn't have to go miles all around B&M to try and find it. It was just literally a click of a button and you had it. It did crash the character website for I think at least half an hour. So that was a pretty tense half an hour trying to get this set, but my god, it was worth it. This really stunning TARDIS, a lovely obscure TARDIS having the door sign on the wrong way. It just feels very unique, and it just pops along the shelf, that very nice vibrant blue, and just the weathered look. It just looks like a well-travelled TARDIS, doesn't it? And the second Doctor figure, a figure we've known about for so many years, with it being a prototype, and to finally have it, it still feels very surreal. And to have one of the second Doctor's iconic looks in figure form is tremendous. I have done a review of it, so I'll leave a link in the description below to that. So that was a wonderful little set. And one of my most bizarre purchases I have ever made, and it was this. The 25 baby adipose will come with the Vesperform Stinger, which to me, this packaging is just real nostalgia, just to have this sort of RTD packaging. It's just tremendous. And it made me sort of review the Vesperform, so I have reviewed that, so I'll leave again a link in the description below to my figure review playlist so you can check out the Vesperform review. So yeah, one of my most bizarre purchases, 25 baby adipose, and this set, well this figure set I should say, is surprisingly rare. This goes for silly money. Luckily I managed to find it cheap on eBay, and I just bit the bullet, and it's just great to have these adipose because they're a slight variation from the one seen with the 10th Doctor, because I think these have more of a different finish to them. But yeah, it's great to finally have the 25 baby adipose in the collection. Yeah, one of my most bizarre purchases, but yeah, there it is, 25 baby adipose. The main bulk of this collection update is of course Big Finish. I'm going to kickstart with a trio of releases, and that is of course the Dalek Protocol, which is the prelude to Dalek Universe 1, and of course Dalek Universe 2. Now I haven't reviewed Dalek Universe in a traditional sense. I'm going to wait until Dalek Universe 3 is out, and then I'm going to review it as a whole series and include the Dalek Protocol and Queen of the Mechanoids from River Song Series 8, so people can have a sort of condensed look at what Dalek Universe actually is as a whole. So that's my plan going forward. I have spoke about the releases on live streams. I'll leave a link in the description below to the Big Finish fans where we've talked about these releases as well. But yeah, Dalek Universe has been an absolute delight and one of my favourite releases so far of the year. It's just been what I've wanted Big Finish to do with the 10th Doctor for so long. Great character exploration with Mark 7 and Anya Kingdom, and it's just such a bold and adventurous series. I just love it, it's really great. Continuing the 10th Doctor theme, we had Out of Time 2, which I have reviewed. Again, I'll leave a link in the description below to my Big Finish review playlist. But yeah, this was a great release, great little story. I think this release had more of a story than Out of Time 1. I think the Out of Time 1 was more enjoyable to listen to, mainly because of the character interactions between the 4th and 10th Doctor, but I think that this has more of a plot to it. And yeah, really good story, did enjoy that one. Next up we have a bit of a throwback release from the modern stuff. We have two companion chronicles, the Great Space Elevator and A Town Called Fortune. So we've got a Victoria one and an Evelyn Smythe one. These were the last two companion chronicles I needed to complete my companion chronicle collection, and if you know me, I'm a huge fan of the companion chronicles. I think that they're a really underrated range, and hopefully now I've completed the range I can do a whole sort of series of videos talking about the companion chronicles and do a top 10 on the companion chronicles, because you know I love them and they're great. So I look forward to finally listening to these releases because, you know, Evelyn Smythe, brilliant. And I do love me some Season 5 Doctor Who. Next up we have the First Doctor Adventures, Volume 5. Look at David Bradley looking very snazzy in the Elizabethan attire. But yeah, the Hollow Crown for me is definitely my favourite of this set. I think that was a really great historical, and I think that this is where this range shines with the pure historicals like The Great White Hurricane and Last of the Romanovs. Really great, strong historical adventure, and this is no exception. The Hollow Crown is a fantastic one, and the ending for the Hollow Crown, I really want to know what is happening, and that's all I'm going to say. Hopefully I'll do a review on it very soon, but I do have a plan involving sort of a top 10 David Bradley First Doctor video in mind, which would be very cool. Then we have the Third Doctor Adventures Volume 7, yes, containing the Unzal Incursion, the Gulf. Probably my favourite Big Finish release of the year so far. Tremendous. I have reviewed it. I'll leave a link in the description below to my Big Finish review playlist so you can check it out, so you can get my full thoughts on this box set. But my goodness, I loved it. It contains a Season 7 and Season 11 style story, and the first box set just to be entirely made up of recast, and you would not tell. It's amazing. The Unzal Incursion is a true love letter to Season 7, great espionage, conspiracy thriller, wonderful story for Liz, and it sort of plants the seed about Liz ready to leave. And then the Gulf is a wonderfully atmospheric listen with the Third Doctor and Sarah, and sort of the Third Doctor's equivalent of the Waters of Mars. It's a wonderfully bleak atmospheric story. Then probably the most sold Big Finish release of the year so far, and probably a release what many people have been introduced to the world of Big Finish, and that is of course because of this man, Christopher Eccleston in Ravagers, the 9th Doctor Adventures. It's Christopher Eccleston on a Big Finish cover with his actual name. My god, this is exciting times. Yes, after a year of waiting, we finally have the 9th Doctor on Big Finish, and we can finally experience it. Yeah, hopefully I'll do a solo review on Ravagers, but yeah, it was a triumphant return for the 9th Doctor. Christopher Eccleston had such enthusiasm and joy, and that was really infectious, and it just made you just really enjoy the ride you went on with the 9th Doctor and his one-off companion in the form of Nova. But yeah, this was a really sort of great start for the 9th Doctor on Big Finish, having this one story told across 3 parts. It was wonderful. Sphere of Freedom is probably my favourite of the box set, and it was just a real great listen. I did really enjoy that. And then we have this, a rather interesting release, what took me by surprise, and that is this, the War Doctor Begins, Forged in Fire, seeing Jonathan Carley voice the late great John Hurt. And this is one of my favourite releases again of the year so far. Wonderful. You've got a post-regeneration story in the form of Light the Flame. So this literally finishes right from where Night of the Doctor ends, this story begins. Great exploration of the planet Khan, and then you have Lionheart with the Farrells, which are time-sensitive monsters, which makes sense to be in the Time War. And the third story, The Shadow Squad by Andrew Smith, which is probably my favourite. A great story and really puts the time in the Time War. A real great concept and great idea, and this has just made me really excited about The War Doctor Begins Rage, and Jonathan Carley does a superb job. It's uncanny, it's really great stuff, and again, one of my favourite Big Finish releases of the year so far. Continuing the Big Finish theme, we have some vinyls. So we saw the release of the final piece of the Time Lord Victorious jigsaw, Echoes of Extinction by Alfie Shaw, which one side of the story is the 10th Doctor and the other side is the 8th Doctor. So this is sort of the first part of Time Lord Victorious for the 8th Doctor and the last part for the 10th Doctor in Time Lord Victorious. Hopefully I will do a video covering this because it's quite an interesting release and such an interesting idea, and of course this story is only available in physical form as a vinyl, so yeah, it's very cool. And my limited edition number, if I can slide the old vinyl out, is number 199 out of 1,000. So there we go, Time Lord Victorious, Echoes of Extinction. And the final thing I'm going to show in this collection update is the 9th Doctor Adventures Ravagers on vinyl. Yes, I was one of those mad people who got the CD and vinyl because it feels wrong not having Christopher Eccleston on CD with the other Doctors, and I thought because Eccleston was my first ever Doctor, you know what, let's go all out and get the vinyl as well, because you know this is Big Finish history, Christopher Eccleston's first ever Big Finish, so for me I kind of had to get both. But yeah, that is the Ravagers vinyl, and my limited edition number is 100 out of 1,000. So yeah, very cool to have the first Eccleston story on Big Finish in vinyl form. So there we have it, my July collection update for 2020. Hopefully you've enjoyed this collection update showing you all the merchandise I've picked up. So please do like and subscribe for more Doctor Who related content on the channel, whether that be Big Finish or figure reviews, and there's plenty more Doctor Who content in the near future. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.